happy Sunday. So it's been a crazy day for me. We got on the road, my daughter and I, before 5:30 this morning, and she went to a softball camp, and so then we got home, I don't know, a little bit after 6, and I got things ready for tonight and had a little bit to eat. So I'm ready to go to bed. I don't know about you, but like something about driving and vehicles makes me super, super tired. So we've got, my husband said a lot of stuff. I think it's probably the normal amount of stuff, but if by chance it is more than I normally have, I'm cutting it off at an hour. I don't think that it will be, but just a reminder that if whatever doesn't sell live, I will put into stories when I get done, okay? So I get the video posted, I send out all the invoices, then I go and I post it in stories. So if you are watching this on the replay and you want to just kind of look quickly and see what's available, then I would just head to the stories, which is that little circle with me sitting in front of the little brick church. You just click that and that will take you to stories. So hi everybody, and thanks for watching. We got so much ice, and trying to fill up the truck when you have a half an inch of ice. I had to put my elbow into it a whole bunch and pry it open. I can't even remember what I pried it open with. Oh, the thing that you wash your windshield with. I used the handle on that to try and get into my gas tank. Better get my pen. All right, first up we've got this little black box. It's a wooden box with a cover on it. The bottom is different. It does have a nice, pretty little dainty hinge. I would say these are daisies or some kind of flower, and this would have held something. What that is unknown. So it's got a little bit of green cloth inside of it, so you could display it open, or you could use it, display it shut, and set stuff on top of it. But this bad boy is $5, and I did grab my tape measure today. So it's about 10 by 5 1/4. And then it sits almost 3 inches tall. So this is first little black box for $5. So how this works, if this is your first time joining us for a live sale, you'll just comment sold and the item. And then when we get done, if you have not purchased something from me before, then I'm going to need your email address and your zip code. That way I can invoice you. You can also pick up all of the items locally here in Centerville. So if you want to do that, you can just message me and say, hey Brooke, I'm just gonna swing by the shop and pick it up from you. But I still want your information. So this is a Fitzgerald manufacturing vibrator box. And it's got all the info there, just from the maker, Torrington, Connecticut, USA. It's got purple inside of it, and this little box would be good for storage, would be good to stack things. I think both of them together look really cute because they're kind of stair-stepped, smaller in size. This is 11 by 6 1/2. by 4. So $20 on the bigger box, $5 on the smaller box, but see how cute they look together? So you could set those on a shelf, add another little box if you had one. Then we've got this wooden box. This one is pretty big. It does have it's a hinged lid. And then the inside is just very open. So the top part has been stained. The rest of it is just raw wood. There is one little board in here. So it used to have some kind of tray that's set here. And then I can see a nail hole on this side where the other board used to have been. So used to, it would have been, what, 2 layered, I guess. This one is $20. It's 6 1/2 by 14. and then 5.5 tall. So kind of, again, another good box to add. You could always spray paint this one black if you wanted to get all three and have them blend in together. So $20 on the wood box as well. Okay, then we have the sugar mold. I'm pretty sure that this is a reproduction. I'm not really sure how you tell the difference, but I'm thinking it is a reproduction sugar mold. You can set these on your table and you know, do it on your desk and put pens and stuff inside of it, colored pencils, crayons. You can put candles in them and use it as a centerpiece on your table. You can, I just have them standing up sometimes in a display. The sugar mold is $15. It's 6 3/4 by 3 1/4 and then 4 3/4 inches tall on our sugar mold here. Next up we have the Happiest Christmas book. So this would be cute to put out for a display. And on the back it says Season's Greetings from Dial Soap. Oh, my lighting's pretty bright. So there's some pages of this little book, The Happiest Christmas. And the Happiest Christmas book is $10. So $10 on that. You could use a clipboard and hang it, or clothespins. It's about 5.5 by 6 on this little book for $10 on the Christmas book. Okay, next up we have a bottle opener. It says Drink Pepsi Cola. And the bottle opener is $8. You could put it on your key ring if you wanted. And it's about 3.5 inches long. So $8 on the Pepsi Cola bottle opener. Then we've got a couple of, I'm thinking that these are locker basket pins. This one, especially with the rust on it, because it is stamped 1, 2, 3. The silver one is not stamped. So I don't know. Sometimes I think pins like this are used for saddle blankets. And so let's see, both of them would actually work. They are squeezable. They are $10. You're getting the pair, and they're about 5 inches long. So 5 inches long on these locker basket tags, pins, $10 for the pair. Any ephemera? That book was ephemera, wasn't it, Wayne? All right, pins sold, Debbie, thank you. All right, next up we have this brass duck, and this would be great to hold a piece of paper. This one's kind of a little bit too thin, but if you did a stack of like business cards, you could stack those in there and have your brass duck hold them, or some envelopes. I know that I have some vintage envelopes with some that have been stamped and beautiful handwriting on them. You could use that for display, or just use the brass duck as he is. It is $15, and the total length is going to be about 8 3/4 long. So 8 3/4 long on the brass duck. Next up, we have the Household Searchlight Recipe Book. And this thing has been well loved and used. So in the front and the back are little pockets with some recipes in them. There have been recipes glued in there. There are recipes stuck in places. Here's one of my dad's favorites, is Wacky Cake. Although I can't remember the last time my mom has actually made Wacky Cake. But there are lots of just recipes written in the margins throughout the whole cookbook. So on this Household Searchlight Recipe Book, it is $25. And it is about 10.5 by 7 on this vintage cookbook. So you could use like a picture holder and stand it up so that you could see it. You can also use like the things that you have to hold your Kindles and stuff, and open it up so that a page or recipe is on display as well. Okay, then we have this cutting board. It already has a hole, so you could hang it. You could just hang it with a nail. You could stick some twine, baker's twine or something smaller in there. It basically looks like raw wood. There's no like sealer or anything on it. It's just raw wood. So $15 on this cutting board. It's 7.5, and then not counting that little loop that has the nail hole, it's 11. So 7.5 by 11, and it is a nice thick cutting board. $15 on the cutting board. All right, then I've got this scale. It does not have any glass in it. It's the Hansen utility scale. It's got some good rust on it. I have not sprayed it with a clear coat or anything, which you totally could. Here's what the top looks like. So at some point something has been attached to it. And there's your bottom. And this scale is $35. It's gonna sit about 9 1/4 inches tall, and then total of the base, the stand part, is 5 3/4 inches deep. So here to here is 5 3/4 inches. So $35 on the Hansen scale. Then we've got this little red wagon. I had some other ones that did say Ertl on them. This one does not. It is stamped on the bottom 0784, which means probably nothing. But even though it doesn't have the Ertl stamp on the back, it would still be really cute as a little table display. Fill it with some Valentines here as we're getting ready for Valentine's Day. Change it out seasonally. So this would just be something cute to use on your counter, table, anywhere to display. So this wagon, red wagon, is $10. It's about 8 by 3 3/4, and then it stands about 3 3/4 inches tall as well. So $10 on the little red wagon. Okay. Ice picks were very popular when I had my sale. I think it was on Thursday during the lunch hour. So I grabbed these two, and it's $10 for the pair. This one is obviously broken, but it still has a pretty handle on it. So you could stab these in a flower frog, put them in a little vase. The wood patina on them is awesome. So $10 on the ice picks. All right, so let me see here. I need to go back. Penny, I see you first on the recipe book. Jesse, you're showing up second. Debbie, you got the cutting board. Jennifer, you got the scale. Valerie, you've got the wagon. And Bella, you've got the ice pick. So just know that it's whoever shows up first on my phone. And you will always show up first on your own phone if it's anywhere close. I do take seconds in line just in case somebody in first changes their mind. This is a little travel suitcase doll box. It does have both handles intact. It's got beautiful little hinges and details on it. There is some kind of watermark or whatever, that dark spot that you can see. And it does have a beautiful flower pattern on the inside. The lid is not one that hooks to the base so it stays up. It's going to fall all the way back. It does have a little tray in it. It stays in place with these little metal hooks. And then, oh, it looks like here's what did hold it in maybe a long time ago. You can't see it, that thread. So you could probably tack that back in there if you wanted. But otherwise, this is in great condition. You could stand it up and display it like this. You could put a picture in it, a vase, a brass candlestick holder, and do a whole vignette inside the little trunk like this. You could use it as a trunk and have it, stacked. Like right now I have a whole bunch of stacked tiered picnic tables. You could do that with some trunks. And then you could also keep the tray in it and just have the tray hold your things, and that's going to help raise them so you can actually see them in the display. And you can always take, I don't have one, but a picture frame wedged in here is nice to keep your lid open as well, unless you want to reattach that piece of string or ribbon or whatever it was. So on our little doll chest, it's going to be about 16 by 9 1/4 by 8 3/4 inches tall, and it is $75. So $75 on our little doll trunk. We'll see if that stays. Okay, next up we have this little Sherine. I don't even know what it was really originally for. It is attached. The lid is not attached, but the tureen is attached to the platter. I don't think that there are any chips on this or cracks. It is very white. There's no like aging shown on it. It is RMS Bavaria is the brand, and it is $25. It's just china. I wouldn't say it's ironstone. It's just a little bit lighter weight than what the ironstone typically is. So the platter is about 8 3/4 by, we're gonna say like 5 inches. And then it sits off, probably the top of the handle is probably close to 5. So you could have this on display, stack it on some books. You could have it open, fill that with some, I think they're bulbs. I feel like there's another name for them, but a bunch of bulbs, 3 bulbs in there would look beautiful too, for getting ready for Easter and have that be a centerpiece. So $25 on that. Olga, you like that trunk? Yeah. I'm sure shipping to you might be a little bit extra. Kathy wants the case. Cancel on the trunk, because Kathy was just thinking about shipping probably. It is super light, and so if you, especially if something doesn't sell right away and you are just curious what shipping is, just message me and I will give you a good estimate on what shipping is going to cost, because I know that for some of you that are multiple states away and on the coast, it does have an impact on how much you can spend. This scale is super unique, and I cannot believe it's still in the shop. This apparatus is attached to the scale. The scale itself is awesome, and on this one, you probably could take it off. Those are not like, I don't know what they are. They're not screws. They're like punch things. I don't know, but you could break those off and take it off if you didn't want it on the scale. This one is American Family Scale, 25 ounce, but this would have been used to weigh chickens. So you stick the chicken down in there and then it couldn't squirm around. Kind of like that scale that I have hanging off my wall has the cone shape. That one is a hanging scale that you could have done chickens with, and this one is just a little bit different. I love that this is on here. I will use this, excuse me, I will use this as a vase and stick greenery out of it. You could do peacock feathers, you could do, cottontails, anything and everything that you can think of that you would want to put out of it, and just use it as a vase, or just have it be a piece of artwork as it is. So on this scale, it is $65. The total height is gonna be about almost 23 inches. Let's just say 23 inches. And then the base part of the scale, because like for me, I like to have my scales in my windowsill, and my windowsill is not very deep, and so the depth is an important measurement to me. So it's gonna be about 8.5 inches deep. So $65 on the American Family scale. Okay, next up we have another box. This one is a wooden box. It is heavier. Someone has just painted this. This is how I found it. But again, it's great for your displays so that you can change the height of what you have. Looks like maybe at one point it was gray. And the hinge on this, or the clasp on this, works. Somebody painted the inside so you could use it for storage. And this box is $30. It's about 10 1/4. It's not perfectly square, by 10, and then about 7 1/4 inches tall. So $30 on the white box. Okay, during the lunch sale the other day, we had a lot of people interested in these, I don't even know what they're called, film things. Rivets, Amber, good job. So Kathy, if you want me to figure out what the shipping would be for you, I can do that, of course. Debbie wants the scale. Valerie, you're second on the scale. Julie, you have the wood box. So these would have, I got these from a guy who had, well, his family, who had, he had tons of vintage film stuff. And these are 4x5 Fidelity cut film holder. So these things slide out, and you could use them as a picture frame. You could like tack something on here with your picture, clip it, glue it, whatever you want. So this is one style that I have left. And then this one is Right Away is the brand, and it is also $15. It's a different brand, but basically the same, where you have these film things that slide on both directions. So you could use them as frames. So we've got Fidelity and Right Way film holders, $15. I think it said it was 4x5, but total size is 7 1/4 by 4 3/4 on the Right Way, and 7 1/4 by 4 3/4 on the Fidelity. So they are the same size. Next up, we have this little sugar and creamer. I'm pretty sure this is a toy set. It looked to me when I first saw it plastic, but it is not. It is metal, and it has some decent weight to it. And I just think the patina on them is pretty. The silver plate is chipping away, so you've got spots that are a little bit darker and lighter. You can see the bottom ring there is a little bit dented. It has a swan picture on it and says made in occupied Japan, and that's how both of them are. So you can kind of see it's a pretty pattern. You could plant flowers in these, let the grandkids play with them, set them you know, on a shelf, use them for cotton swabs and stuff like that. So for the set, it is $20, and I'll just measure the platter. The platter is going to be 7 by 4 1/4. So 7 by 4 1/4 on the platter, with the little creamer and sugar for $20. Next up, we have this milk glass vase, or goblet, and it is not marked or stamped with anything, and it is $5. It's gonna be 5 1/4 inches tall, and about 3.5 inches in diameter on the milk glass goblet. Then we've got this matches holder. It is cast iron and then has these painted details on it with your little 2 slots. Not buying film cartridges though? Okay, oh, you were just saying what they were. Yeah, I understand, Jerry. $25 on the matches holder. It is probably about 6 1/4 inches by 3 3/4 inches on the matches for $25, this cast iron holder. Okay, then I grabbed a few more Valentines, probably each sale until Valentine's. We will have a few Valentines for sale. So we've got these 3 that I picked because they are all going horizontally. So I'll read to you the one with the harp. It says, "Your Heavenly Valentine." And it also says, "Made in the USA." And so does this one. And then it says, "Guess Who?" And then this one says, "I took a shine to you, Valentine." Again, made in the USA. So they do have, they have been given, they are used, but you could totally just put your own loved one's name on there with a little message. So this set of Valentines, these 3 are $9. So you're getting the 3 for $9. And then we've got 2 other ones. These are going to be an older style of Valentine. You've got this one with the person playing the instrument that says February 14th, 1928. So this one says, "I love you and who cares?" I'm not sure what that's Valentine-ish, but, and then this one says, "Don't string me, be my Valentine." So the 2 of these are $10. So $10 on the pair of Valentines. We've got this little Crock Jug that would look good with some of your other stoneware. It is not, well, it might actually have it has a little marking on it, but my price tag is covering it up. It's just something that's stamped in there. So $10 on the little piece of stoneware. And we're gonna say it's about 4 inches tall. Then we've got a couple of wood bowls. This one is in great condition. This one, somebody must have aggressively been eating out of it or something, so that one has a little bit of damage. I like to stack them, and then you can put something in here that's taller and use it as a display. You could also, if you have a collection of Scrabble pieces or stamps or spools or anything, you could throw them inside these wooden bowls, and you're getting 2 for $10. 2 for $10 on the wooden bowls. Okay, now we have a very unusual piece. Wayne's always trying to get me flustered. This is some vintage coral. So this is not new. This is old stuff. And it's nice because it does have like a base to it. And actually the last time I had displayed it, I put it in this goblet, and then I also had some like lace and stuff around it. And this vintage piece of coral is $30. And just kind of an estimate of size, we're looking at about 5 1/4 inches. And then it's probably more like 4 inches going that direction. So $30 on the vintage coral. Okay, I did not recount myself on these, so it's just a guesstimate, but I'm gonna say there's about 90 wooden spools in here. And Corey wants the coral. So probably about 90 wooden spools. You're getting a deal. They're $30. So this bag of wooden spools, I would say all but one of them have thread on them, and they are $30. 30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 $30 Okay, then we have this Golden Harvest canister. Would be great to hold your spaghetti in it for functional use. $10 on the Golden Harvest canister, and it is 9 1/4 inches tall. So $10 on that. Then we have this Reliance needle book, nickel plated, rust proof, 115 assorted needles with threader with the vintage picture on it. And it has, I would say, most of the needles in there. And the needle book is $5. And it's going to be about 6 1/4 by 3 1/4. $5 on the needle. The spools were $30, Myra, and there went a needle right there. Jesse wants the glass canister. Bella wants the needle book. And spools were $30. Thanks, Debbie, for helping with that. Okay, then we have this little FisherPrice barn lunch box, I would call it. This side still has some really good graphics. I'm not sure if there was supposed to be something up here. And this side, the main floor's got good graphics, and then I'm not sure if that was something somebody added later or what. It does not have the thermos in it, but it has a spot for the thermos. So this little FisherPrice lunch box is, I just looked and now I forgot already, $5. So $5 on our little FisherPrice lunch box. Okay, then we've got another feed sack. This one is a very faint. It is $5. So one suggestion would be on it, I don't know, we'll see what it looks like in person, in the camera. It has 35 at the top. It says Pioneer hybrid seed corn on it. So a couple of options. You could always take a fabric pin and trace the old logo advertising, and that way you could see it better. But you could also just make this into a pillow, reuse it as a upholstering a chair seat. So you could repurpose it as is as well. So $5 on the hybrid Pioneer feed sack. It is about 28 1/4 by 14 1/4 on the feed sack for $5. All right, Lisa wants the FisherPrice lunch box. Then I don't know if any of you collect little perfume bottles, but the lid on this, it's impressive that it's never broken. It's got some nice blue color on it. There is still perfume, which I would never want to wear because I think it stinks. But $5 on the perfume bottle. And it is about 4.5 inches tall. So 4.5 inches tall on the perfume bottle. So we got some more bottles. These are all blue ones, probably Vicks Vapor Rub. This one is going to be something a little bit different. The neck of it has a pretty shape. On the bottom of that one is just a number. This one has a pyramid at the bottom. And this one says Vapor Rub. That one says Vapor Rub. So they look very similar, these two smaller ones, but they're not. So you're getting the 3 blue bottles for $15. 3 blue bottles for $15. Lisa wants the perfume bottle. TJ wants the feed sack. So the bigger bottle is about 3.5 inches. Then we got 2.5 inches, and I think this one is 2 1/4 inches. Give you an idea of size. All right, I grabbed a couple more peanut tins. This one is mixed nuts, Planters. At the bottom, it has Planters Nut and Chocolate Company, Suffolk, Virginia, Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, and San Francisco, California. does still have the lid on it, and it is $15. So diameter on this one is about 2 5/8, and then 2 3/4 inches tall on that one. This Tom's one does not have the lid on it. It is more orange, but would make a great planter, or repurpose it for your pens and pencils or your coins. It's about 3 3/8, so a little more than 3 1/4, and then 2 3/4 inches tall. And this one is also $15, so $15 on that as well. Okay, next up we have, I'm not sure what it would be. It's kind of like a, a bib. No, that's not what it is. Like a collar, but so it would be like on a half a circle table. And I would just personally, when I do this, I'll put them in a wood box or a bowl, and I kind of bunch it up and have it dangling over. So I don't necessarily ever lay it out flat like it used to be used. So whatever kind of shape this is, we're gonna call it a white one. There is a spot down here, you can see that dark, so there is a little bit of discoloration on a couple of spots that I honestly just noticed as I was laying it out. So give you an idea of size with it laying here curved. You're looking at probably about 32 inches. So 32 inches, and this is $10. So $10 for the white doily. And then we have this one that's kind of a mint green. You can starch these and like hang it on the wall. I think that kind of gives a boho feel when you do something like that. To me, this also looks like a snowflake. But you can also put them inside a wooden hoop. And then I've taken some of that vintage lace and tied it to the bottom of the wooden hoop. And then there you have a dream catcher. So this would make a very pretty dream catcher. And you can also like stick them to the back of a window and have like the window be your frame, and the glass holds it in. It's a little bit over 19 inches in diameter. So $10 on the mint green doily. Next up we have, again, my favorite color, green. This rug has seen better days. Right here is a nice worn spot. There's a worn spot down here, and I feel like there's another one. No, maybe not. So that side has a couple of issues, this being the biggest issue. So you could use this as a rug, or you could just simply, and I didn't measure it, or like I like having them dangling out of my Crocs or some big baskets, because I like the color and the texture that it gives. You're looking at about 26 inches wide, and then let me fold it in half and we'll get the length. And then it's gonna be about probably 63 inches long, and it's $15. So $15 on the rug. Then something a little bit different than I normally have. We've got this little Rooster Shelf. Somebody's cut it out from a piece of plywood and stained it and painted it. And this little wooden Rooster Shelf is $10. Total height is going to be about 8 3/4, and width, the rooster's tail sticks a little bit farther out than the shelf, but the shelf is 5 3/4, and then you can see the tail sticks out a little bit farther. So $10 on our rooster. Then I have a couple of Parker Quink ink bottles, Parker ink bottles. They have their boxes. This one, you can still see the ink in it. Maybe, I can see the ink in it. There is ink in it. It's full, it's blue. The lid on this one is rusty, and the ink bottles are $15. So you've got rusty lid one, and then this other one, the lid, it's the same shape bottle. This lid is actually marked with Parker Quink. And then the label on this one is not as good. But again, it is, I wish you could see how pretty it is. There is a bottle full of ink. It's not dried up or anything. So $15 on the ink bottles, and you just need to tell me if you want the rusty one or not rusty one, or both. Okay, then we have a pair of photo books, and these are not completely full. This one has a postcard in the front, but I think the rest of them were photos. So you can see it's not completely full, but it's got a lot of pictures in there still. And then this one is a little bit bigger. It doesn't have the string that they normally have, but it's still all like clipped in here somehow. Well, this top one's not, but the rest of them are all clipped in there. And the penmanship on these is just awesome. Like this one is Mr. and Mrs. Frank Argo. Since that one's loose, I'll hold that one up. There's some spots in here. I can't remember if it was Mystic. There's one local community in here, Old Man Heisel. Just kind of neat to read the penmanship. Here, I'll take that one out since it's loose. But lots of old pictures, and sometimes she just wrote like smiles on them, like if it was her and her friends, and she just wrote smiles. Some of them have names on them. So for the two photography books, it's $30. I'm just gonna measure the cover of this bigger one is about 10 by 7 1/4. And the cover of the smaller one is about 8 1/4 by 5 3/4. So the two photo books are $30. I just dropped one on the floor. All right, I got some more cow kickers and $10 on this rusty pair of cow kickers. I have not sealed it or anything. And my best idea for these is one, hang them on the wall and hang something from it. Hang it on the wall because it looks cool like that. Hang it on the wall or your door and hang a wreath from it. That's my favorite idea. So $10 on the rusty cow kickers. Okay, these are not old, but I'm getting ready to put these on the website. This is basically just, what would you even call it? Strands of wool. So you can use these as, there's gray, dark gray and cream. You can use them as garland. You can, use it as a window treatment. You can drape it in your displays. One lady bought a bunch of these off of me and did some kind of macrame with it. So you have a lot of options on these. I have more than two. And these are $8 each. So $8 each on the wool, and it is new. Okay, for those of you who like to make signs, whether you want to paint it, stencil it, do something with your Cricut. This board would have been like a insert off of a cabinet or a door. It's got some stain on it. It is very thin, but you could do all kinds of things. You could add a hook in one of those jars that are hanging that I've seen a lot of DIY posts on lately. You could add a couple of coat hooks to it and mount it to the wall that way. It's $5, and this is the first one. I've got two that are a little bit different. So the first piece of wood salvage, let's say, it's 20.5 by 7 3/4 on this one. I should probably double check my notes. A shawl. Shawl is the word I was looking for, Amber. Okay, so Corey's getting the lace also. Yeah, white doily. Gotcha, Corey. Yeah, pretty with the rustic frame. You know I can't pronounce or say quink. Is that what it is even? Penny wants the photo books. Okay, this piece of wood salvage is going to be the second one. And this one is a little bit more ornate, detailed, because it's got this little bump out. But again, it was probably some piece of paneling off of something. So $5 on this one. So this is the second piece of wood salvage, we'll call it. It's going to be about 24 inches by 6 inches. Again, would be great to add some hooks to or do a sign. Okay, then we have this heavy clock-in slot holder. It's got spots you can hang it on the wall easily. It's a gray. It's Latham Time Recorder Company, Atlanta, Georgia. So you could do something fun with the kids' report cards. You could put your mail in it, have it be by the door, put it in your office, just hang it on the wall and put some bingo cards in it or something. You've got lots of options on this. It is about 22 inches by 4.5 inches, and it is $30. $30 on our time card slot holder. All right, we're getting close to time. Okay, next up we have our Mary. This is kind of hollow sounding. It is not china, it's not pottery. It's more like, I don't even know what. But it would be pretty in a religious display. It is stamped. It has a made in China sticker with some blue velvet on the bottom. It's $20 and probably about 13 1/4 inches tall. Okay, next up we have a couple of green bottles. These have a little bit more etching on the inside, so they're not going to get spotless and get totally clean. The side of this one says St. Joseph on both sides. And then this, they look like Duraglass. I think that's a Duraglass stamp, if you can even see it. Not the best. $10 for the green bottle pair. The taller one is about 3 inches and the shorter one is 2.5. So $10 on the green bottle pair. Then I've got a blue bottle that has something in it, some white powder in it. It still is corked. $5 on this one. It is about, to the top of the bottle, not the cork, is 2.5 inches. So $5 on that one. We've got this white with blue trim enamel cup or mug. You can see there's a little bit of air bubbles here. $5 on this one. It is not stamped or marked anything. Diameter on the mug is 4 inches, and then it's about 3.5 inches tall. So $5 on that. Then something that Wayne passed up on, I've got these Matchbox Holders, kind of like new old stock that never got matches in it, strike matches. Champion spark plug, so there's 4 different holders in there. We've got $5 on the Champion spark plug match holders. All right, Diana was first for the second piece of architectural salvage. Myra, you're in second. And then we've got this Virginia smoking tobacco. Someone has put some kind of sealer over this label. It's not like 100% secure, but it is more secure than if it was just flapping in the wind without any sealer on it. This would look great with a bunch of different you have a bunch of options of different things that you could put in this and it would look cool. And it is dirty. It's about 5 1/4 inches tall and a little over 4 inches across. $15 on the Virginia smoking tobacco box. Then, help with the lighting here. We've got a lighter. This one is marked Zippo on the bottom. And you can hear it, the mechanism still works. $15 on the Zippo. Then we've got this one. I can't read what it is. Ranson, maybe? It does not have the top piece, but its mechanism, you can hear it still works, and it still has the, it's not called string, but it still has the string in it. $15 on that lighter as well. All right, let's do one more thing. Actually, let's do this. We'll do 2 more things. All right, we've got another all bucket. I was super excited to find this one. I had one, I don't know, maybe a year ago. This all bucket would look great in your laundry room. It does have some crusties on it, and those, I washed it. They are not gonna come out. It looks like concrete. I don't know if it is concrete or not, but you could still use it as like a trash can, or you could seal it if you wanted to put something a little bit softer or more delicate in there, because that stuff is not coming out. The all bucket is 11.5 in diameter and 10.5 inches tall, and this one is $60. $60 on your all bucket. And then another bigger thing, but it is lightweight, is just this wood crate. It has been sealed. It's $45, and one of the things that I like the most about it is that it's got HCD stamped in it. You could put a bucket or a bottle inside of this. You could keep your magazines in it. You could put a trash bag in it and use it as a trash can. You could put it on its side and use it as a riser, or flip it over and use it as a riser. So you've got lots of options on that. And it is gonna be about 16.25 inches tall. And then it's about 15 3/4 by 12 3/4 on that. And $45 on the HCD Crate. All right, we're close to an hour. It's a good time to cut it off. Anything that hasn't sold, I will go and post it on stories here once I get people invoiced. I've got Brooke wanting the cow kicker. Jennifer wanting the box. Are you wanting that Virginia smoking box? Ronson. Okay. Debbie knows that the other Zippo type lighter is a Ronson. Good. Thanks for helping me on that. Valerie, you want that last crate. As long as that's not the one Jennifer wanted, I think we're good to go. So Jennifer, Colin, don't call me. Message me and confirm that. All right, guys, thanks for watching. And my goal is to maybe do one Tuesday over lunch. So kind of stay tuned. If you're not already getting the notifications when I go live, when this video is not live anymore and it gets posted, If you click on the video, there will be 3 dots in the upper right-hand corner. Click on those 3 dots, and it will give you like a pop-down window that gives you an option of clicking to get notified when I go live, and you want to click that you want that to happen. So, yes, ma'am, I'm right on the Virginia. Okay, so Valerie, you got the crate. Lisa wants the rug. You're welcome, Jerry. Brooke, you want Brooke. Yes, Kathy, you want the 4 lids. Yep. One was natless, and I'll let you know on the shipping. Small smoke box, Jennifer, I got it. All right, guys, thank you.